Hey guys, this is Principal here. I'm about to be ohana. Today we're talking about customer stories. If you guys don't know, I work for Walt Disney World at July 2006 to 2007. As culinary customer, and we're going to start with clinical stories. And I remember being in Epcot, and not Epcot, Crystal Palace, Magic Kingdom. And I spilled honey mustard on my jacket, and you cannot go on stage with your jacket being dirty, basically. On stage means, is terminology, it means that guests can go. They can see. Like in the park, basically. Backstage is where guests don't go, past members. You can't go back there, you're probably not gonna be escorted. Like tell you, hey, go back on stage or you're gonna be arrested, you get banned from the park. But anyway, I spilled honey mustard on my jacket and I had to basically leave Crystal Palace, walk through the Toll The Toll Door is basically the first floor of the Magic Kingdom. So we're in the Magic Kingdom on the second floor, basically, on the second level. And it's basically, how it came about is that Walt in Disneyland saw a cowboy walking through Tomorrowland. And he didn't like that idea. So he built the Toll Doors in Magic Kingdom. It's basically how we get around. And without being seen, there's breakers down there, there's trash down there, there's merch being moved around, there's the computer that's controlling the rides, the attractions, the animatronics. There's characters down there. There's a character zoo with all the character costumes. There's our cafeterias down there. It's the Musketeria. It's when you first come to the Toll Door. And there's a subway down there. There is a subway. It's really neat. I think every park has one subway in their cafeteria. Because I remember being in Animal Kingdom, and I worked late shift. And I ate a lot of stuff because everything else in there was closed. So I ate a lot of sandwiches anyway. But they have signs on the maps around the tours so you get around so you don't get lost. And they're different colors. The walls are different colors so you don't get lost. And I happened to be to Tomorrowland one time. How did that happen? Anyway, I had to walk through a Toll Door, get on the bus. Then the bus is to West Clock. And the West Clock is basically, it's a mile from the Toll Door. It is basically the parking lot for the cast members. And I had to go into costuming. But it's back behind the Magic Kingdom. There's a power plant back there. There's a water plant back there. They're on water and power. There is Central Shops, which is basically they refurb the ride vehicles, any animatronics that break. I saw some stuff from Pandora was in there. So, that's another video about. But other customer stories that I've done. Not really a customer story, but it's a tour I did. I think it's called Backstage Magic. We'll talk about it in a different video. Our cast members our name tags are made there. My name. But the Central Shops is back there. The holiday building is back there where they kept all the Halloween stuff, the cottage store decoration, Christmas stuff. Because Disney does a Christmas job. They go out for Christmas and they're beautiful. Every Christmas time is gorgeous. But back there, Disney University is back there. It's where Traditions is. And it's really neat there, back there. Where they keep the monorails when they're not used, trains when they're not used. And costuming. Costuming is basically, a costume is their uniform, the cast member's uniform. That's what that is. And what they wear in the park. That's why they call their uniform is costume. Because Disney's one big show. That's all it is, basically. If you've never noticed, it's going off track, but if you look up on the windows on Main Street, they are the kind of opening credits to people who help make the Magic Kingdom. Walt has two windows. I'll tell you where they are. He has one above the train station. It says, keeping dreams on track, Walt, or that's Disney. And there's another above the ice cream parlor. And Roy has one, it's above the confectionery. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, costuming. Before I get off track. I like to talk a lot, sorry. But I had to basically go with costuming. Costuming is a building where I think every park has one. Every resort has one. Magic Kingdom is the Magic Kingdom, and it's every costume in the Magic Kingdom is in that warehouse. Big warehouse. Every costume is in there. From Haunted Mansion, Go Cruise, everything's in that warehouse. And I was like in there, I was like freaking out. This is so cool. Like everything's in there. The Halloween party, the Christmas party, everything's in there. So every role is in there. But Epcot has one. There's the big cast service building in there. Where there's like there's also Company D, which sells like the lanyards and They discount tickets. You can buy cast merchandise and pins. And I think there's one at Disney University. There's one at Disney University. There's also one at Team Disney, which is near Disney Springs. And I basically, I'm going off tangent now. Sorry, I tend to ramble. I grab my costume. I grab my jacket. I get on the bus. Get on the bus. Get off the bus. Do Teodor. The Teodor is kind of where, you know where Be Our Guest is? It's kind of like that, with that right behind where you Be Our Guest in Pinocchio Village House. It's kind of that in that area. If you look on Arrow, like Think of Magic, you can see it. But anyway, sorry. That's where that is. And I remember being in Epcot one time and it pouring, and I was coming up for break. I was on the bus. Well, there's a back road in Epcot. We actually do a Toador, but it's like we're kind of Future World where we used to Cinema Park where it used to be. It's like back there. It's under there. There's also one there's one on Tomorrowland and Disneyland. So there's the other one there. But I remember that. But what's that? But there's a back road at Epcot. Sorry, I had to refresh myself what I'm trying to say. There's a back road at Epcot. There's one bus. There's buses that get you where you need to go. And there's a bus that goes east, that goes where Guardians is and where Mission Space is. It's for the park. If you want to go through the park, you go to that. You go through that. You have to walk back there and just, go through. There's security right there. It checks you in the park. And there's a bus that goes west. It goes through all the buildings. I used to go to work behind Canada. We had like different zones where for one, like red zone, blue zone, yellow zone, and they do like each part of the park. Because Food and Wine is huge. There's like how many booths, and I bring me outside, and it was in October. It was 95-degree weather. I'm in like a chef coat, black pants that feel like pajamas, black shoes, black socks. I had to be sent home that day. It was terrible. It was awful, but I had to be sent home that day. Back to my story, it was raining, but it was raining, and I get back to where I'm supposed to be working, and so I'm kind of rambling. This is called I didn't write this down at all, but I'm just going off memory. But I got up to where we were working behind where Canada is. I worked behind Canada a lot, in that part of the park, back there. So I've been in the Sully kitchen. That kitchen is not big. It's kind of decent sized, but it was basically like raining. And the thing is that it was lightning, and it's a 101, so we could not be in the Connex boxes. Connex boxes are where it's basically the shipping crates on ships. You know what I'm talking about? It's basically that, but a big fan in the back. It's a refrigerator, and they're metal, so you can't be in them when it's lightning. So we just sit in the break room for like 45 minutes. It was neat. But I also remember I forget my cat. I got my name tag a couple of times. And don't do that. You end up being Chris Miranda that day instead of your name. But it's kind of a cast member joke. I'm like, hey, did you get your name tag? Yeah, Chris Miranda the day. But so many good stories. So many. I remember in Epcot, I had my lanyard around my neck. It's basically a black lanyard. And they sell them at Company D. I had 3 of them. I had one that had Figment on it. I had a belt one. It's a pin, kind of like a pin. And it has Rivers of Light. Does everyone remember Rivers of Light? That was a good show. I remember going to the cast preview of that show. We couldn't record nothing. It was amazing. But they definitely changed it before they previewed it. But that was incredible. I got to see that. But it was amazing to see that. Yeah, I remember being in Epcot and I dropped my housing ID and so when I did the college program, it's different now. There's 4 housing. There's Vista Way, which I lived in Vista Way. That's the original. There's Chatham. There's Patterson, and there's one more, the Commons. And you have to have a housing ID, and to basically get back into your housing, you have to show that ID, and then the buses too. And so I dropped it, and I got a call from that, and I was like freaking out. That night, I got a call from a leader, and leaders are like managers, and they have another, I forget, the coordinator. It's not a manager, but it's like lesser than that. It's a coordinator. And one of the leaders, custodial, called me and it's like, hey, I have this customer returning your name tag. Like, have you do your housing ID? I'm like, thank you. And I told Chef, And he basically, hey, this is who has it. Can you please get it back? Thank you. Also in Epcot, when I did Flower and Garden, there's this, do you know where Showplace is? It's that big building. Behind that, I can look at it. You can look on a map and show a picture where it is. But I want to show a picture here. You can't see it, but it's a big building. It's where the I forget what it's called, but it's a big kitchen. We worked at a kitchen, but they make every party, the food for every party around the resort. When I did the college program, they had an event called Starlight Splash, where they closed down the Two Lagoons for the DCP. They had a DJ there. They had characters. They had food. All the ice cream you can eat. I ate 6 Mickey bars that night. They were free. They would have been $60 anyway. But it was a lot of fun. And they make all the food out of the resort for the party. Every party, weddings, stuff like that. And if World Trade Place has vents, they have part of the sunsets or free wine. They do weddings, stuff like that. And we were working out of that kitchen behind it. And we basically made everything for the Flower and Garden. Well, except for these pavilions. Morocco, France we don't do. What else? I'm trying to think. Japan we don't do. Mexico we don't do. That's all we're party. Italy we don't do. That's everything else is our party. Everything is done by Disney. The rest of it is done by Disney. But I know we made off of the rest of it. Desserts we don't do. That's done by the bakery. But we had a truck off the back of the kitchen because we didn't have it's not our kitchen. We're based in that kitchen. And okay, I'm back. Sorry, my camera said lower storage. I'll put this in editing, add this to it. But we were talking about yes, the truck, and we had that truck on the back of the dock, and it had all our food in it, stuff like the church we don't do, the bakery does. But he had that truck on the back. We had to open it and close it. It was refrigerated, it's a box truck, and they had to take it for the gas to keep it running, and because their food would go bad. But stuff like barbecue, we didn't there was in America there was the barbecue thing with food Flower and Garden, the booths they have, and they would do that on stage. They would smoke that on stage. We don't do that. We made the sauce, but I wasn't on stage a lot, so I don't really have a lot of stories being on stage. I remember going to break when I was going to break, because you could take the bus, but it'd take too long. To walk to the park, basically I would come out of a door. It's Canopy Land. It says customers only. You're not supposed to don't go back there if you're not a customer. But where the Canopy Pavilion is, the waterfalls back there. You would go through there, go through Canada, and we had to take our name tag off when we were going to break. And I remember, this is kind of random, but I remember in Crystal Palace, when I worked at Crystal Palace, it's a character meal, and it's Pooh Bear, Piglet, Tigger, and Eeyore. And I remember they see that the characters walking back and forth and behind the kitchen. Anyway, Tigger congratulated me, and I was he said, if you ever see a cast member with a red ribbon on their name tag, Ernie Mayers, they're in training, so be nice to them. But I remember in Epcot, I remember seeing Mickey and Goofy walking past me, and I was working. I'm like, my day's been made. I'm good. I just saw Mickey. I'm good. But that was amazing to see the the characters walking back and forth. But that was incredible. It was so cool. Characters I can't give away because there's kids watching. Character integrity. That's a no. Nope. That goes to my grave. But I won't say anything about characters because it's not supposed to. But back to where I was going to break. I tend to ramble a lot. It's probably good. I don't know how this video is going to be long. But I tend to keep them to 20 to 30 minutes. But I was going through break and walking through the park because it was faster than going to take the bus. And I saw these guests. They were showing us the picture, and I'm like, they instructed us hey, if they see a guest take your picture. I'm like, hey, can I take your picture? Like, sure. And they're like, you have to be very careful with the camera and not to drop it because their phones are expensive. And I remember I was not on duty, but I was in food and wine, and I saw a guest left their phone behind. I'm like, you're supposed to turn that. So I gave it to the nearest cast member. Hey, like the guest left their phone. Like, can you get it to Lost and Found? And but I don't have a lot of stuff on stage. But I remember being in the Ireland booth, and then you had the warm chocolate pudding, and the Bailey's custard sauce, and a guest was like, "Can I have more?" I'm like, "Of course you can. That's my job. I mean, to make magic, and I love doing that. I love making magic." And I remember at Whispering Canyon, we had it's like a mini kitchen thing. It's like a sundae. It has it's a gallon hat. It is vanilla ice cream, chocolate, vanilla, mint chocolate chip, chocolate, pineapple, strawberry, chocolate sauce, caramel, a slice of apple pie, whole slice, whipped cream, sprinkles, 2 Mickey cookies, 2 brownies, a toasted marshmallow skewer, and then 2 trays of chocolate bacon. But it was fun making that, but sometimes I didn't like making that because it takes forever. But that's my story. So if you have any questions, ask me, please. I've been more than happy to answer them. But like I said, except my characters, no. There's kids watching. I won't break the magic. No. But anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. I'll be seeing you on the next one. So, but I don't know if I wanted to be this series or not. But this has been fun. I love talking about your customer. But hope you have a magical night, guys. Take care. Peace out, Mickey Jackson. As Matthew Gray Gubler said, be yourself. Person's very special. Love you guys. Love you. See you later. Bye.